Students, this is ISST class 7, third chapter, the Delhi Sultanate. This is the table you have to go through. This is for your convenience. And now, let us start the lesson. Delhi was the capital of the Delhi Sultanate in the beginning of the 13th century. The Sultans of Delhi built many cities in the area that is now known as Delhi. After Mahmud Ghori's death in 206, Qutbuddin Aibak proclaimed himself ruler of the beginning of the Delhi Sultanate, which saw the upcoming of many sultans who ruled from the capital city Delhi. मोहम्मद गौरी के डेथ के बाद कुतुबुद्दीन ऐबक वो रूल करने लगे थे, वो बन गए थे वहाँ के सुल्तान, और दिल्ली जो था वो कैपिटल था. डायनेस्टीज ऑफ दिल्ली सल्तनत. द एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ द दिल्ली सल्तनत needed reliable governors and administrators. Muhammad Ghori had no sons, so he nurtured slaves called bandagan in Persian like his sons. These slaves were placed as governors and later raised to the status of sultans. Delhi Sultanate was ruled by 5 dynasties. Now the Mamluk or slave dynasty. Qutbuddin Aibak, after Muhammad Ghori's death in AD 206, Qutbuddin Aibak, a Turkish slave who had played an important role in Ghori's expansion plans in India, proclaimed himself the Sultan and ruled from Delhi. ये सुल्तान बन गए थे मोहम्मद गौरी के बाद. Then the Iltutmish Aibak was succeeded by his most favorite slave and son-in-law, Iltutmish. The Caliph of Baghdad conferred upon him the title of Sultan. कुतुबुद्दीन ऐबक के बाद आ गए थे अल्तमश, और जो खलीफा थे बगदाद के, उन्होंने उनका नाम रखा था, उनका टाइटल रखा था सुल्तान. He can be called the true architect of the Delhi Sultanate in India. Then Razia Sultan, Altamash chose his daughter as successor instead of any of his sons because he found them incapable to rule. She was a brave, intelligent and just ruler. Razia Sultan Altamash की बेटी थी, उसके बाद वो आ गई थी, और उन्होंने अपने बेटे को सल्तनत नहीं दी, बल्कि उन्होंने रज़िया सुल्तान को दी, क्योंकि रज़िया सुल्तान ज़्यादा बहादुर और ज़्यादा समझदार थी. The nobles could not accept her as sultana. Both the ulema or clergy and nobility found it humiliating to work at her command. Then Ghiyasuddin Balban. In 1265, a Turkish slave, Balban, who had become a leading member of the nobility, took over as sultan. इनके बाद ग़ियासुद्दीन बलबान आ गए थे रज़िया सुल्तान के बाद. He was also a very nice ruler. He was strong also. He defeated many local rulers, defended his kingdom from Mongol invasions, established an efficient spy system, restored law and order in Ganga Yamuna Dao, land between 2 rivers. His policy is called the policy of blood and iron. Now the Khaljid dynasty from 1290 to 1320. The Ghiyasuddin Balban died in 1287. His successors were too weak and incompetent to carry forward his legacy. The end of Turkish rule by Jalaluddin Khalji, a man of non-Turkish origin, is referred to as the Khalji Revolution. Now Jalaluddin Khalji. From 1290 to 96, Jalaluddin Khalji suppressed the revolts of Balban's successors and overcame the external threats of the Mongols. Alauddin Khalji, after him comes Alauddin Khalji. Jalaluddin Khalji was killed and succeeded by his nephew and son-in-law Alauddin Khalji. He had great administrative skills and military genius. Gujarat enabled him to have an access to its ports and overseas trades. Moroccan traveller Ibn Battuta who visited the Indian subcontinent around this time, says that Alauddin ruled almost the entire country for a brief period of time with Malik Kafur as his vice-regent, deputy. Now comes the Tughlaq dynasty from 1320 to 1414. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was the first ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty. He was a capable military commander. After him comes then Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq succeeded his father Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He was a very learned man. He had deep knowledge in philosophy, logic, mathematics and medicine. Ibn Battuta, the main source of information about his period are the records of the Moroccan traveller Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta lived in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq for many years. Then after him comes Firoz Tughlaq from 1351 to 1388. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was succeeded by his cousin Firoz Tughlaq, who was nominated by the ulemas and nobles. Firoz's successors were incompetent. It was during the reign of Nasruddin Mahmud, the last ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty, that Taimur, the Mongol ruler of Samarkand, invaded India in AD 1398. Now the Sayyid dynasty from 1414 to 1451. Khizr Khan was a local governor. He called himself as the viceroy of Taimur and founded the Sayyid dynasty. What was the society? All the administrative posts in the Sultanate were reserved for the nobles who constituted the ruling class in society. So this is all in this lesson, and try to read this lesson several times. Go through this video. If you have any problem, you can ask me. Have a good day.